Hello, Libra. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. It's a website for Chris Ann. Chris-Ann with an E.com. You can see it down there somewhere. So if you want to check Chris Ann out, go ahead. You can even freeze frame if you want to, of course. Supportive Oracle cards. Wisdom of the Hidden Realms by Colette Baron Reed. Websites for Colette. There's ColetteBaronReed.com, I believe. Is it com? Yeah. And if you look below, there's a couple more websites if you're interested, if you want to search them out for fun or whatever you're looking for. Feel free to freeze frame and search those out if you would like to. Okay. What do we have for Libra? Is this good? I'll put these face down. Okay. So, starting off, the World is the first card for you. Which means a whole new phase is, if it hasn't started, it's about to start. This is like going into a whole new situation. New people, usually new people. For somebody, I don't know. There's a book. I keep seeing this book. For some of you, it might be a book. I don't know. We'll just go with it. You got a face down card that fell out. This is something that you may not realize is going to stick around for quite a long time. So it's almost like, for some of you, I keep getting this book connection. It might be you have to study. It might be one of those things where, okay, I get the book connection now. It took me a minute. And take it where you need to take it, of course. It's a general read. But it's kind of like, all right, I need to learn a couple more skills for this job. And for example, let me say it's Excel for some reason. And it seems fairly, like I just need to know a couple more things to make this a little easier. But I start to realize fairly quickly, if I really want this to be an advantage for me, I'm going to have to invest some time and really put a lot of effort into this. Because the more I know, the more of an advantage I have, and I can do this. And the more I know, the more I can figure out what's actually going on with this situation. It's like, the situation is like when you're starting it, you're just kind of like trying to figure out what's going on here. Then you start realizing that it's a deeper subject than you thought. You're also realizing the deeper I go with it, the easier this gets for me. The more I know, the better I can make this work. There's another piece of this. When this is happening, somebody else is letting go. It's the Queen of Cups. That's not usually how I read that. Somebody else is letting go, and they're just not... I feel like they're letting go, and they're just getting out of your way. The Queen of Cups usually talks about emotions, sometimes secrets. Maybe that's how they're getting out of your way. They see where you're going, they see what you're doing, and they're just not saying anything about it. Because you're going to figure some stuff out like you usually do. And this person knows it, and they're just like, I'm just not going to give anybody heads up about what Libra's doing. They're like, it's very I keep getting like hands off, stepping out of your way. They know what you're doing, they're just not telling anybody about it. They don't want to be a part of this. Somebody's backing up and they don't want to be a part of this. I don't know if this energy really is compatible with you for some reason. But it feels like they're not getting in your way and they're just like not dealing with it. That's usually a positive card. They're feeling like this might work out better by just stepping back and letting you handle it. it's a tricky. It's 6 to 1, half a dozen to the other. Because I'm also getting the Seven of Wands as the challenge card. Is this staying out of negativity, or is this ignoring it? They might. I feel like the situation is a little bit. There's a couple pitfalls here. There's a couple booby traps. So they're staying out of your way, but they're also not giving you a heads up about what you're about to get into. So it's a 6 to 1, half a dozen to the other. They could be a little bit more helpful for you. I just feel like they won't be. They're not really compatible with your energy. I feel like I keep saying that because you may not realize, because I feel like you're kind of like, well, yeah, we're not best buddies, but we're not like enemies. So I feel like your energy might look at it that way. Like, we're not best buddies. We're not like hanging out every day or going places after work. Like, no, but we're not like at each other's throats. We don't have a problem with each other. They're not looking out for you. You may feel like you get along better with this person than they really get along with you. They just seem to be like, they could give you heads up about things and they're just not. And I think that's what they're trying to, that's what this reading is starting to go towards, kind of like, you may think this person would give you a heads up on a couple things, but they're not going to. You're going to find out about this later. Because that same person, you got the Word Lord and the Diamond Dreamer. You'll figure out what they were holding back, and you're going to see them for who they really are later. And I feel like it's kind of like, it's like one of those people that they're really nice and enjoyable, and when you're dealing with them, it seems like, oh, they're pretty cool, they're pretty great. It's kind of like that sweet old guy that's just kind of like a sweet old lady or a sweet person that, like, they're just there. They always have the cookies, and they're always nice, and they always have a kind word to say, and you're like, oh, they're so sweet, they're so nice, why would they do anything negative? And then you realize later they gave you those cookies so they can distract you and they can get away with what they wanted to do while you weren't looking. You're busy over there getting your cookies and putting your coffee together. Meanwhile, they're sneaking something out the back door that they're not supposed to have. It's kind of like, it's one of those things. Yeah. Oh. There's like a cahoots. Cahoots? People are in cahoots with each other here. They're in cahoots. Something isn't what it seems. I get that. Because I feel like the deeper you get involved with this, the more research you're putting into it. You're starting to figure it out. You're putting in the effort. You start to figure out this person. And you're like, oh, that's how that works. Because once you realize that they're being dishonest with you, and you're like, I never would have thought. I feel like it's one of those things like, I really never would have thought that. They're so sweet and nice. I wouldn't have thought that. I wouldn't have pegged them for that. I wouldn't have thought that. Only reason I'm actually believing it is because I'm literally seeing it right here in front of me. So clearly that's what they're doing. I even like checked up on them and watched them do it myself. I saw them do it to somebody else. They gave them cookies, pointed them over to the coffee. When they went over to do that, they snuck things out the back door. I literally just watched them do it. They're literally doing that. I never would have thought. So unassuming. It's kind of like I'm looking at this person like, wow, they're quite the talented con artist, because I didn't see that coming. And it takes a bit to get by you. It does take a bit. You got these two cards coming in, the Two of Pentacles, and is it Gaia? Gaia's Garden. Which to me says, all right, we're going to fix this, but I'm going to find a way, because it's almost like this person, a lot of people like this person. They don't really see this person for who they really are. So you're like, all right, I can't just call them out because we're going to have issues with that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to shut this situation down. I'm going to make sure that door they're sneaking things out, that's going to be locked from now on. Or I'm going to make sure the right people are out there so that when they try to sneak something out, they'll turn right around because they don't want to get caught. So that'll stop that. So you're making careful, calculated decisions. It's a multiple, I think there's a lot of decisions you have to make, but you're moving things around just correctly. Libra can be very strategic. I don't think that's really a challenge for you guys. let me know in the comments. But I feel like if you want to be strategic, I don't think it's a challenge at all. So you move things around, and you're putting a kibosh on this without calling it out directly, because you're like, for some reason it feels like if I call it out directly, that's not going to work well. It's going to cause more problems than anything else. So I'm just shutting down the situation. I'm also keeping my eye on this person. Like, what else are they doing? Like, I'm kind of like, what else are they doing? You don't care for it, but I feel like you have to step back, and you're slowly. This is like that book. This is like, don't judge a book by its cover. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing more and more about this book. It's kind of like, it looked really nice, looked really fun, and you're like, when I see what's in this book, I'm like, yeah, no, this isn't that great of a story. I don't like this story, and I have to step back. And what I need to do is I need to slowly let it play out. I have to see how many things they're messing up, what they've been doing this whole time. And then I have to like set this up so that the right people see this person do these things at the exact time they're doing it. So that way you don't have to be like, well, this is what they're doing, and then you have to prove it. You don't even need to worry about that, because you're like, they're catching them themselves. They're seeing this person do that themselves with their own eyes. So you don't have to accuse or prove anything. You just got to like make sure they're in the right place at the right time. They can see it play out right in front of them. And that's that. What's to prove? What's to accuse? They saw it themselves. They saw it. They know what's going on. The proof is they saw it. They watched it happen. They're the proof. Them watching it. You don't really care for this, is what I'm getting, but I feel like this is the way that would be the most peaceful ending for this. I don't know. I don't care for it. I keep getting like I don't care for it. I'd like to believe we could fix the situation, but I'm also kind of like handing that over to other people as well. I'm like, I'm just going to make sure they see it happening, and I'll let them make their own decisions. I think that's the part you don't care for. Kind of like, I need to let them see it, and they can decide what they need to do. It takes the power away from you to decide how to handle it, but you're like, it's the most effective way to handle it. It's kind of like, I don't really like that I'm not going to be able to like give my 2 cents about what I think should happen here. But I don't want to be knee deep in this either. I don't want to get all messy. Knee deep, possibly falling in and getting neck deep without really wanting to. So it's kind of like, I could do it the other way and like do the whole accusing, like this is what this person's doing, and having the proof, like obviously this is what they're doing and here's the proof. And that would put you in the position to make more decisions about how to handle it. But it's really messy, and I just feel like it just seems like it gets really messy that way and gets more complicated. If I do it this other way, it solves itself. I don't have the ability to make those decisions, but it's done. That's when this comes down, whatever falls apart, it does seem to shock a lot of people. I feel like it's better if you just set it up so people see it happening themselves, because you're not like, there's no finger pointing at you like you did this, or like you didn't really, you just kind of like slip away without a problem. You got the 7 of Swords, like I may have made sure people knew about it, but I'm not being the one, pointed out as the bad guy here, even though you wouldn't be the bad guy for pointing it out anyway. But it seems like I don't want that reputation either. I don't want people going, oh, watch out for Libra, they're looking at everybody. So if you're not doing everything by the book, they'll throw you in, like they'll throw you under the bus. Because that's not really what's happening here, but people might have that attitude about it. If people don't know, you kind of set that up so that people saw it themselves what's going on. No harm, no foul. People don't know any different. Because people are not going to like it when they see this person for who they really are. People are going to be kind of against it. Kind of like, that can't be what's really happening. That sweet person, there's no way that sweet person's really doing that. I don't believe it. There's going to be a lot of that going on. I think that's the Tower card here. There's a lot of support for that person. But I feel like whatever it is, it's kind of working itself out. The Ace of Swords and the Lovers coming in is kind of like, there's going to be a switchover in situations. Like, there's going to be a complete switchover in what's going on. Whoever this person is, they might lose a lot. They might even be removed from the situation. They're definitely not going to be allowed to stay in the position that they're abusing. Whatever that means. The situation will perform much better. I know that there's people like are not happy about it, but when it's fixed, the person making the decision to fix it, it does seem to remove it from ever being a problem with this person again. But I'm warning, like this is the problem. People don't want to believe that this person did that. Like whoever's getting caught, whoever's getting like that's the person they're doing it. People don't want to believe it, and there's some lingering energy afterwards. Which, if you're that's again, if you're not the one who's saying, well, that person there, that sweet person, look at this is what they're doing, and here's the proof. If you're not doing that, nobody knows you have any connection to it, because if they did, you would get some of the blame for this being the way it is, which is not fair. Because it's all about perceptions with some people. And it's not about what was actually happening. It's how they felt about that person. They really liked that person, and now this happened. They feel bad for this person, even though this person created their own situation. If you're not involved with it, it goes so much easier. Well, if people aren't seeing you as the person putting it out there, it goes a lot easier. Things are going to change fairly quickly, and it's true. I do feel like things are going to change very quickly, and they're going to go a lot better. But there's also this lingering energy with this Ace of Swords. I'm just getting, this is why you want to step back, because even though the situation changes very quickly, underneath the surface are these hungry ghosts where this, like, there's this, it's just like leaving a bad taste in somebody's mouth. Like, they just always remember, and they're going to be like, that person I liked, I don't think that was fair. Even though this person, whoever it was, did it to themselves, other people seem to have this distorted view of what actually happened, and they can't seem to let it go. So if you're not, pointed out as being a part of the situation or pointed out as being the accuser, you seem to slip by it and you don't have to worry about it. If you are the accuser, though, it's like a mark on your, it's like a blemish on your record that has no business being there. Are we good? All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.